Hello and welcome to the Wheel of Crime podcast. This podcast is run by two ladies who play games, mumble profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised.
Hello and welcome back to the Wheel of Crime podcast. My name is Jenn.
And my name is Emily. What were you doing? Not the mouthing along to, like, my disclaimer. I saw that. The beginning where you're like, a one, a two, one, two, three. I was like, are we doing a jazz number as the intro to this episode? What are we doing?
I don't know. It's been a long day. I was telling Emily before we started recording, it's grant season for me right now. All the funding applications are due for like all of my projects, and there are many of them, and it's also tax season, so literally it's the worst time of the year for me. And I am so tired. I've never been more tired in my fucking life. God,
that is felt.
Yeah. What was that? Who's to say? No one will know. It was my brain expiring.
Literally. And I hate that you brought up tax season, because I always get the worst anxiety around tax season, just because, like, it's like, oh, so you have a certain amount of time to do it, and you probably owe money, and sometimes the government doesn't like what you submit or whatever, or you could do it wrong, and then you go to jail. Like, I can't. I really love it when I hear about countries where the government just does it for you, and then they send you, like, a bill in the mail. That seems, like, much preferred.
Yeah, like, I genuinely do not have the time to do my fucking taxes, and it's honestly the last thing on the list of things that I want to do. Mm-hmm. And this year I have to, like, get stuff ready for me and my company, because I incorporated or whatever for my, like, film biz. So it's even worse. It just gets worse every fucking year for me. I swear to God.
Because it is slowly getting worse over time. It's like one of my siblings turned 18. Oh, it wasn't last year. I think it was the year before. But I remember, like, explaining taxes and just, like, the heartbreak. like on their face, they were like, the government needs me to pay money? And I'm like, I know. It's really terrible. Sucks. It's terrible. I'm so sorry. And then they're like, and then I have to pay extra money for other people to do it just in case I don't mess up. And I'm like, yeah, you do. So prepare yourself. Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. Right? I'm so sorry for you.
And
it's just,
yeah, right.
I hate it.
And then it's like I have to break their heart, and then the next sibling turns 18, and I'm like, guess what? I got some bad news for you. I'm about to explain.
Happy
taxes.
Birthday. Happy birthday. You owe $10,000. Good luck.
Let's talk about, literally. Oh, God. But yeah, I'm trying to think if there was anything interesting that I did this last week, but, you know, just hashtag work life, because it's cool to say hashtag still. you guys missed my face that I gave Jenny. I was like, oh yeah, maybe. And then I'm slowly going through some home renovations, because like I mentioned ages ago, we moved into a new place, but it's been very just weird and congested, and things aren't really organized, and it's just overwhelming. And so I'm doing the official spring clean, as the world calls it, and purging my life, and I hope and expect to feel 10 times better afterwards, but it's a process for sure.
That is fair. I have also been doing that, because we also just moved into our place a little bit more recently than you, and trying to finally unpack the last boxes, because Emily's coming for a visit soon and she needs somewhere to sleep. So guess we have to I guess we have to get our lives together. I don't really want to, but it's happening.
Yeah, it wasn't necessarily on the roster, but now that it's here, I should probably deal with it.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, in that case, should we spin our wheel of questions and shake a leg?
Spin away.
Whoa, we're gonna try that again. All right. So, what do you know about Fresno?
Like the city in California?
Just anything associated with the word Fresno. Whether it be the place, a brand, the first thing that pops into your mind. What do you think about when I say the word Fresno?
I mean, I think about the city in California. I think it's in California. Oh God, I probably sound like an idiot if it's not.
No, listen, because I was going to sound like the bigger idiot, because what I was going to say was I think of the drink, and then I like remembered right before it came out of my mouth that that's Fresca, not Fresno.
Fresca. Oh God. I honestly don't know much about the city, and if there's other stuff that goes by the name Fresno, I don't know anything about that either. It's none of my business.
Sweet. Let's move on to our next question. Oh, God. This is going to be a fun episode today. Okay, so what do you think of haunted home security footage? So, like, I didn't really know what to call it necessarily, but you know how, like, you'll be on, like, Facebook or something, and, like, there'll be a video that pops up where it's like, look what this family caught on their security camera. And it's, like, some weird-looking thing, like, in the like, walking down the street or something. Like, what do you think of that kind of stuff? Oh.
I mean, I personally believe that most of that stuff is staged for clicks. So I'm going to go with that, but it would be cool if someone caught a spooky ghost on their Ring camera. I just have a hard time believing that they did.
That was very well put, and I completely agree with you, because, like, there's, like, some things where you, like, see it and you're like, ooh, that's pretty creepy, but then there's other things where you look at it and you're like, that is 100% somebody in a morph suit doing the jig in the middle of the street. Like, I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some of the, like, I don't know, like, people put up, like, footage from their, like, baby monitor, and, like, some of that's kind of creepy, and I, as a teenager, thought I saw something creepy on a baby monitor footage thing.
I think baby monitors are a little bit different, though, because, like, there's always been issues with, like, people having interference in, like, the feed of their like, baby cameras and stuff. So I feel like that one's already kind of a little spookier.
And just, like, the angle, like, looking down at the child, I don't know. There's something about it that's, like, inherently spooky. So I think they're just, my expectations are I'm about to see some fucking demon pop out. So basically, I don't know if it's on the same level.
No, I would definitely say that the baby monitor thing is way spookier. And, like, I remember, too, I don't know how long ago this was, but I remember at one point I was getting, like, a bunch of videos from people's baby monitors where they, like, caught somebody talking to their baby, like, through the baby monitor, and, like, shivers up my spine. Like, I hate that stuff.
Hate it. It's
Gross.
Absolutely heinous and should be illegal.
It should be illegal. And then that's the thing, too, is, like, when you actually look in, like, comments and stuff to see if people can or have pressed charges against, like, people being creeps towards their children, there's, like, nothing, because you can't find out who it is. And, like, they use, like, so many different methods to do it. And it's, like, I don't know what kind of person, like, gets kicks out of, like, hacking baby monitors, but, like, that's, like, a whole other level.
A special kind of person, and we'll leave it at that.
For sure. All right, let's spin for our next question. Methinks I have to tighten the hardware on the wheel of crime. Okay, would you rather only have 2 arms or 2 legs. Like, you're not allowed to have 1 arm and 1 leg. You have to pick. Would you rather have 2 arms or 2 legs?
I'd rather have all of my limbs, but I guess I'll go with 2 arms.
Really?
I mean, I need to type, and I just don't think I would be as good as it typing with my feet.
That's fair, actually. Now that I think about it, I think typing with my toes might give me back problems.
Yeah. I mean, I could get some cool, like, robot legs or, like, a cool wheelchair or something, so I think it would be fine.
Ooh, yeah,
I
that's
could
a
make
good
it
point,
work.
too. Yeah, you know what? You've made me change my answer. I was originally going to say 2 legs, but, like, you'll never have the dexterity of fingers with robot hands or anything
toes.
like that. But you can... But, like, what do you use your toes for? I mean, I use my toes a lot for things because I'm, like... That's just who I am.
Lazy.
Yeah, but like, I think overall though, like, I'd be okay with having metal legs. I feel like that would get the job done for the most part.
Yeah, and maybe I could run really fast. Maybe that's a really insensitive thing to say. I'm sorry if it is, but like, that's my dream.
See, you say that, but in reality, like, I've always been so intrigued by like those Olympic runners who have like the blades on their feet where they can like go like crazy fast because it's like a spring system. Have you ever seen those?
Yeah, it looks so sick. Like, I want that for myself right now.
We'll just put it on our regular feet and see how far it can take us.
Yeah.
We'll just be 8 feet tall, no big deal.
Yeah, I'll just run to work from now on. It'll be fine.
Hey, you know what? Whatever works. All right, let's spin for our last question. So, would you ever live in California?
So Fresno is in California. Okay, I'm glad to know. Yeah, I'd live there. The beach life. I don't know if I could live there like permanently, but I would definitely live there for like a couple of years, you know, just to see how it is. But I'm more of an East Coast gal than a West Coast gal, but you know, we'll see. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
Okay. You know what?
What about you?
I could do like a short term living there. Like, if it was one of those things where it's like, oh, like, you need to live here for this wild, crazy reason, then yeah, I could probably do it for like a little bit, but I wouldn't like have it as like an end game thing. The vibes are like very particular, I think, just in the couple times that I've been there.
I mean, I guess it depends where in California, because I think the vibes are different in different places. You know, I've never been to San Francisco, but I think that's a place that I would like the vibe of more versus like downtown LA, where I feel like it's a little bit more what you would stereotype as California, you know?
Okay. I see, from what I remember, I just remember the northern part of California having a lot of hillbillies that live in the woods. And then
Nice.
when we drove through San Francisco, I remember seeing quite a few homeless people poop on the sidewalk in broad daylight. And then when we drove through Los Angeles, I just remember it being very like your stereotypical downtown LA experience. So, like, I don't know. Like, I think I could deal with it for a little bit, but it's definitely, like I said, not, like, end game for me.
I don't know. There's certain parts of, like, LA that I really like and enjoy. I have cousins there, so I've been there a few times. But, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm a more of an East Coast gal. Like, if you asked me if I'd rather live in New York or LA, I would pick New York every time.
So, what do you think today's story is about based off of these lovely questions that I've presented to you?
Someone in California catches a ghost who's missing both their legs on their Ring camera in Fresno, California.
You're like 40% right. Like, not halfway there, but a little better than a quarter. Maybe 30.
All right.
Maybe 30%. 30 to 40%. All right, so
I'll take what I can get.
I'm going to read you the description, and then I want you to tell me if you've ever heard of this before, okay?
Okay.
All right. The Fresno Nightcrawler, also known as the Fresno Alien, is a cryptid that made 2 appearances so far, one in Fresno, California, and the other in the Yosemite National Park, also in California. In both sightings, it's only ever seen in video footage. However, a man in Poland has also claimed to have seen the creature. So does that ring a bell for you?
Nope, I've never heard of this Fresno cryptid that hangs out in Fresno and Yosemite.
Okay, I'm gonna send you a picture of like what it's supposed to look like, okay? This is based off of people and like the camera footage and that kind of thing, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what you think of this picture when you look at it.
It looks like a man wearing a sheet and his dog wearing a sheet.
See,
like a white sheet.
Kinda. So basically what makes a nightcrawler cryptid different than like a like other cryptid is that like these are supposed to be kind of like alien in origin, and they look kind of like a wishbone. Like if you look at the picture, it's got a small head and these like stupidly long legs that are attached to shoulders.
Like a jumpsuit almost.
Yeah, kinda. So like basically they're supposed to be legs with either a head or like legs with a torso, but like elongated and creepy. Okay, so that's just the general idea of what they're supposed to look like. But I am going to tell you a story today about kind of how this all came to be, because the Fresno Nightcrawler is a very like, you know how I think we covered a generalized cryptids episode at one point. Do you remember how I was telling you that like different areas will have different cryptids for like different types of things, but that there's also like popular cryptids for like different things, like the Mothman, for example, or like Bigfoot. Yeah. So the Fresno Nightcrawlers are supposed to be like a big cryptid, like among the popularity of like Mothman and Bigfoot and stuff.
Oh, well, I see. Maybe for the underground cryptid crowd, but not for me.
Maybe, right? So what I'll share with you today is the different sightings that people have had of this Nightcrawler, and what kind of makes people believe that it might be like an alien entity and that sort of thing.
All right, take it away, Em.
All right, so the first like sighting is called the Carmel area creature. So in this one, a witness, a 60-year-old former Marine who went unnamed, and his wife were driving near Carmel on December 12th, 2014, when they came up over a hill and saw a 7-foot-tall, slender gray creature, which is now known as the Carmel area creature. This witness said the following: "We recently bought a place in the Fort Hill area in southeast Highland County. We first noticed after about 30 days of living here, that we suddenly have a perfect circle that stays fresh green, no matter the weather, in our front yard. On Friday night, the 12th, we were driving home. After turning onto Carmel Road, which leads to our road, we went around the curve by the Carmel Church, and then up a small incline and approximately 10 feet over the incline and in front of our truck. The alien ran across the road and into the woods."
What if, okay, and hear me out, the alien wasn't making the circle? What if they just had some really good fertilizer?
You know what's funny, actually? Anytime I, like, hear or read a story that's, like, you know, like, spooky nature, and people talk about that, I'm like, what are the chances that this is, like, advertising for a fertilizer company? Got circles in your yard? Call Green Drop.
Like, they just spray painted it green.
Or that, because, like, I don't know. That seems a little bit too, like, I feel like aliens have better things to do than necessarily, like, make your grass green. But that also could just be me.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure.
It seems like a weird thing for them to do, you know? If they were going to leave us a sign, could they not do something cooler? I don't know.
See, that's the thing. Or, like, crop circles. So, like, crop circles, like, to me that makes sense. Because you're, like... Because, like, you'll see some of these videos where they're not, like, just, like, perfect circles. They've got, like, some kind of, like, weird pattern to them. And I'm like, ooh, spooky. This is interesting. But, like, just, like, a circle of green grass, I'm like, cool. Next time you're here, can you get the rest of the lawn? Like,
yeah, like,
expand your territory.
That's just kind of inconvenient.
Yeah, it's too convenient, yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know about an alien, but they've got something going on.
Oh, for sure. So, there have been many possible sightings of the Nightcrawler in the form of the Carmel area creature, which, as described, is a thin, armless, pale, white humanoid creature that has also been seen in Ohio. So, the creature has also been spotted in Yosemite, where footage was taken from what appears to be another security camera. This time, there are two creatures, one being very small, so less than like 0.5 meters, and the feet of the creatures can clearly be seen, as well as what appears to be some sort of webbing that connects from the knees to the upper body on at least the larger one. So, that's a pretty creepy description. Kind of like if a plastic bag came to life and then got like really long, detailed human legs to go along with it.
So you're saying that this alien could be a supermodel?
They could be. Victoria's Secret runway. On its way there. It won't take very long either because it'll take like 4 steps and be there.
Exactly. They'd be perfect. It'd sell so many shoes or whatever.
So many
pairs of pants.
Pants, yep. And belts. They love belts.
All the belts. Fanny packs? Just add it to the roster.
Oh, absolutely. So, this cryptid has also been videotaped in Poland, this time from what appears to be a handheld camera, judging from the shakiness of the footage. The creature cannot be seen for too long, but appears to have similar traits to the large one that was taped in Yosemite. For years now, Jen, I don't think you understand. For years I've been reading that word like Yosemite or Yosmite. This whole time.
Yeah, it's Yosemite.
Watch us both be wrong. I live for that day.
No, I'm pretty sure I'm right.
If you say so. Okay, so here we have possible explanations as to like what the heck are people seeing. Okay, they're in Yosemite and like all these other places, like Poland, but like what's the deal, right? So these are possible explanations. So the main one that people run with is that it's an alien or extraterrestrial being. The next thing that people run with is a new species or possibly a primate with short arms. Misidentified deer standing upright. Pants or a puppet on a wire. A bird walking like a crane. Or a person wearing big pants and walking on stilts.
That's what I'm going with. Person wearing big pants and on stilts. I'm pretty sure there's a picture of me in high school, because this was back in 2013, folks, but there was a trend where you put your arms in your pants and you walked kind of funny.
You're totally
like
right. And this story is from 2014. That could be
so
it.
I feel like that's it. Maybe if we can find these pictures, we'll put it up on our Instagram, just so you guys can see the cringe of what was.
We'll have Jen do the 2023 remake of the trend 10 years later.
No. Absolutely not.
I love that idea. We should workshop that. But but here's my thing. The thing I actually believe the least about all of this is the misidentified deer standing upright.
Yeah, that one I'm just like, no. Aliens more likely.
That is my whole thing too, because even like if you look at the picture that I sent you, it's like that Absolutely
We'll put this
not.
picture up on Instagram, guys. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, like this'll be going up so you guys have a frame of reference. But like if you look at the picture, they're like in the street, and it's like you can see the trees and all this other thing, and they're like, nah, it's a deer standing up, and I'm like, show me where the rest of it is. This makes no sense to me.
That is the strangest looking deer I've ever seen in my whole goddamn life. Then
Literally. So then there's also...
And I've seen many deer.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, considering where we grew up, which is a mystery, by the way, to you people, there was lots of deer around.
Yeah. It's true. Can confirm.
Yeah. So there's also more, like, physical description type things that go along, like, particular with this, like, Fresno Nightcrawler thing, which, like, help you identify what makes it a Fresno Nightcrawler, okay? So, Fresno Nightcrawlers appear to be relatively short creatures, which is weird considering how long their legs are, so about 1.5 meters, with most of their height being made up by their legs as they possess an extremely small upper body. It is hard to find details in the upper body of the cryptid due to the poor quality of all of the footage of these things, which is an interesting detail, and it is extremely thin, white humanoid with no discernible arms. A larger specimen appears to have webbing connected from each knee to the torso, and these cryptids appear to have very short, thin, and stilt-like feet. And the Carmel area creature, as reported, is tall and gray, with presumably no arms and long, muscular legs. It is bipedal, or bipedal, and walks in an odd manner with its backward bending knees, and it is considered to be a version of the Fresno Nightcrawler.
I see. I think it is teens doing that trend from 2013, but whatever you want to believe.
See, for me, it's like, yeah, like the description is for sure creepy, but I do love the little tidbit where it's like people have only seen these in like found footage style type things where like the quality's pretty bad. And then
that's what I'm saying. It's like it's staged, you know?
Right. Well, and like, but here's for me though, like, is it creepy? Yes. But the creepiest part for me is the description of it walking with its knees bending backwards. I'm like, You could have long legs and be pale and have stilt-like feet, and I'm like, yeah, sure, welcome to the neighborhood. But the minute you start walking with your knees backwards, that I'm booking it.
Yeah, I don't like that either. It sounds a little much.
A little ooky spooky. But there are origins, potentially, to where this kind of came to be. So, while there have been claims that they are a part of Native American folklore in this region, that got debunked. So the first sighting of the Fresno Nightcrawler happened in, as we said, Fresno, California, by a man named Jose, actually. So Jose had a surveillance camera watching his front lawn and looked at the camera when he heard a dog barking. After being woken up by his barking dogs, Jose observed the Nightcrawlers in his front lawn through CCTV. He woke his brother up to rewatch the footage. Afterwards, his brother claimed to have seen small footprints outside, but by the time investigators made it to the site, all evidence was washed away. After the initial sighting, the original CCTV footage was lost, and the only remaining footage of this event is a grainy video recorded from a monitor.
That sounds suspicious.
It's a little suspicious. But one of the reasons too why in the beginning of this episode I really wanted to see if you knew what this was about. So in 2014, like 2013, 2014, 2015, like this blew up. Like the media was going crazy over this like Nightcrawler business. So the Fresno Nightcrawler is most known for being one of the 2 featured video cases on the second episode of Syfy's Fact or Faked Paranormal Files, and the team deemed the Nightcrawler unexplainable, which is now considered a fun urban legend and an endearing addition to pop culture. So, basically, what that means is when this blew up, like the media blew this up, a bunch of people were like, basically the reason it became popular is because half of people were like, oh my gosh, what a creepy thing. I can't believe you caught that on footage. Like, this has to be real. We've never seen something like this before. And the other half of people were like, obviously this is a hoax. How can you believe this? This is a prank. Like check the details. So it got popular for those two reasons, and it was popular for a long time because of that. And so, do you remember how at one point too I mentioned that like Mothman was like really popular on Tumblr, and people are like crazy about the Mothman on the internet?
Yes.
For a little bit too. I'm not sure if this is a thing anymore, but like there was a time on the internet where like people were also like sexualizing cryptids. So Mothman was on that list. I know.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure this actually followed Twilight after the whole vampire werewolf thing, and people were like, ooh, what else is out there? I fully blame Stephanie Meyer for this. But people were wanting to bone the Mothman. There were people wanting to bone like the swamp creature. And also, these Nightcrawlers came up a couple times too because of the description of their long, muscular legs. I shit you not.
Oh my god.
I shit you not. And like looking back on it now is probably one of the funniest things ever. But like I really want to see if this is still a thing on the internet or not. But yeah, like this was for a time something that people were like wild over.
I don't even know how to process that. It's like people who want to bone Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, to each their own.
To each their own.
It's not for me.
See, no, it's so funny you say that too, because I just had a conversation with one of my siblings about this, because they were talking about describing it to a friend of theirs about how that's a thing. And their friend didn't believe them. They were like, oh, I don't know what part of the internet you're on, but like, why would anybody want to bone Sonic the Hedgehog? And she was like, no, you don't understand. I do not want to bone Sonic the Hedgehog. Other people want to bone Sonic the Hedgehog. And I was like, this is the funniest thing I've ever heard in all of my days. I get great enjoyment out of your suffering.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. There's like a really good video on like the whole people wanting to bone Sonic the Hedgehog that me and my partner watched like a few months ago. And it's like stuck with me. I'm like, I'll never recover psychologically from watching that.
Literally, before we continue on with the story, I have to know what you learned from that video. Like, did it explain to you why people want to bone Sonic? Or like, were they just like, this is a thing and here are the facts behind it?
I can't remember. It was a while ago when I watched this, but they were basically like, this is a thing. And like, these are all like the different like things happening within that, and just like talking about like Sonic porn and like how like people are like making like these videos of like Sonic being their boyfriend and like POV type videos. Ooh. And I was just so traumatized that I think I've repressed it all.
See, which is weird for me too, because I remember at one point on the internet seeing like ironic like things pop up a lot where like people were like ironically attracted to say like Shadow the Hedgehog, which is like same franchise but different character. But then like after this conversation I had with my one sibling, I was like, no, this is apparently like a real thing. Like that was a joke what I saw, but also it's a real thing. So like, was it ever really a joke?
I don't think it was ever really a joke. I think people were like, oh yeah, it's just a joke. Wink, wink, wink.
All right. But yeah, we will be talking about that later. But for now, I'm going to finish my story.
We're going to shelve that one for now.
Yeah, well, we're going to put a bookmark
with
in that.
The Nightcrawler.
Yeah, and we're going to keep talking about the Fresno Nightcrawlers. But funny enough, hoaxes did follow this original found footage CCTV of the Fresno Nightcrawlers. So some of the sightings are actually proven, by the way, a pair of white pants being puppeteered in the video. Therefore, a hoax. And the alleyway gif, so like that's the thing too, is so like you know how if you're sending somebody a GIF, it'll give you like a storyboard of like popular GIFs that other people send people and like that sort of thing. So yeah. There was a storyboard GIF at one point of or GIF, whatever, of the Fresno Nightcrawler like crawling through an alley really fast, and it's meant to be spooky. You've probably seen it before, but it was a storyboard one for a bit, and that one was actually like a proven hoax done by a YouTuber. Why am I talking like I was literally born yesterday? YouTuber named Captain Disillusion, and he did it by walking down an alleyway with a melon and then using digital manipulation to remove the top half of his body, and his purpose was to demonstrate how easily videos of cryptids can be falsified.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. And I feel like he's on to something, because I feel like most of these videos are like fabricated and people just really like make them to get clicks or something. Like, I don't really know what the point of it is, or they just want to spook people, which is, cool. But
well, and it's interesting too, because like I am totally on board with people like debunking things. I think that's an important part of the internet. The problem though is when people take that stuff though and then spread it around and be like, look at this like real video of the Fresno Nightcrawler, and it's a man from his YouTube channel being like, nah dudes, I made this using a melon and Photoshop. Like,
yeah, I mean, I think people do that all the time though. Like,
yeah,
I can't tell you how many times on fucking TikTok someone's like said something satirically and then someone doesn't get the joke, and they just fucking run with it like it's a fact, and then like the 300 videos later people are like, wait, what?
Yeah. Or even there have been some videos too that I've seen where it's like you're looking at it and you're like, wow, that's so interesting, but like I've been like checking myself when I see that kind of stuff though and being like, but is that real? Because if so many people say things like they're facts and like they've done their research, but then it's like when you actually look it up, they're like, no, that's like not a real thing, and you're like, wow, that is just that one person's opinion, but they say it so confidently you don't even question it.
I know. It's like, it's like when someone makes a status about something on Facebook and we roast our parents for just blindly believing it. Yeah. I think the same thing's happening on TikTok. So check your facts, ladies and gentlemen, because I've fallen for it a couple of times.
Oh, for sure. My new thing is like just question everything, and if it seems a little bit too fantastical, it probably is.
Yeah, it's probably not quite right.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the end of like my story chain for you on the Fresno Nightcrawlers. Now, here is the real burning question that I have for you after this lovely story I've come with you today. So do you or do you not believe that the Fresno Nightcrawler is like original footage is real or not?
Oh, totally. I'm a firm believer, and it has to be 100% true. I'm going to be shaking in my boots from now on.
Yep.
About these beefy legs that could be running towards me.
Yep.
Actually, I think I would be genuinely scared if I saw backwards knees running towards me.
Oh, yeah.
But, I don't think it's true.
Yeah. So, like, here was my take on it when I was doing my research, because I was like, it is interesting how popular it got, and I totally get why. And I totally also get why people, like, made hoaxes following this, because it's so easy. It's
like Slender Man, though,
right? Like, it's very, like, loosey-goosey. But, like, my thing is, I believe that the original Fresno Nightcrawler, I think that one was a hoax from the beginning. And I think that everything that followed that probably was. However, I'm a little suspicious of that couple in, I believe it was Ohio, the first one I shared with you. I'm just looking up Carmel. The Carmel area one. So I'm a little suspicious of like the Carmel Yosemite one, or Yosemite, as I've learned today, because although their description is really similar to like the Nightcrawler thing, it's just adjacent enough and from like a different area where I'm a little suspicious of that one. I'd be like, I would love to know a little bit more about like what those people saw that night. But I 100% believe that the actual Fresno Nightcrawler is a hoax. 100%.
I mean, those people just probably saw a deer standing upright wearing a, jumpsuit.
Yeah, the deer was wearing a white morph suit and then, like, was just standing on its hind legs and, like, running real fast at them backwards. And that's why they think its knees go backwards.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally logical explanation.
Right? Well, because their description was also really different, too. Like, I don't know if you were, keying into some of the description details I gave, but the Fresno one, they said were really short, like a meter and a half, and mostly leg, and pale white. Mm-hmm. But the Carmel area one, the one that was like the 60-year-old Marine and his wife had seen, they said it was gray. It was almost 7 feet tall, and mostly leg. And they didn't see anything on the top half, probably because of how tall it was. So for that one, I'm like, I'm suspicious.
That one sounds scarier to me, personally.
Yeah, I think so too. So, like I said, I'm a little skeptical of most of these details, but also, you know,
suspicious but intrigued.
Definitely suspicious but intrigued. But yeah, that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you liked it, make sure to give us a review on wherever you listen to your podcasts. All 5 stars helps us with the algorithms and that kind of thing, so that would be greatly appreciated. Beyond that, we also have our website, which is www.wheelofcrime.com if you want to check us out on there. We also have a Patreon, which is at wheelofcrimeonpatreon.com if you'd like to donate to the show. We also have our social media, which is on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Wheel of Crime. And we also have our email if you'd like to submit one of your own stories, or even just talk to us and say something cool. That is wheelofcrime@gmail.com. And we are still taking submissions for an upcoming listener episode. If you would like to submit your story, the Google Doc is available on our social media. And I believe that's everything for today.
Yes, that's it. That's all. And we'll see you next week for another new episode. Okay, bye.
Bye.